Team white again. All right, if I get another white, I'm gonna have to switch. This is 3 whites. This is the 3rd white that I had. English. Okay, so if e5, I can certainly rely upon this square, d5. I'm retaining flexibility with my d and e pawns by just playing my pieces out first. And now I'm going to go with this. There is what? There is the possibility for the queen to pivot on d4 and then swing over to h4 if there was a capture on d4. Not the case here, however. So, but I do have the possibility of gaining space with tempo. I feel like I was just, I know that I was just playing this exact game not too long ago. d5. The knight played here, and then I played my knight to d2. I think it was against the computer. d5, knight a5, knight d2. I don't think it worked so well. So let's see if I could do something else. Maybe I just play h3 with the idea of bishop e3. h3 seems purposeful. h3, bishop f5, and then if d5, knight here, is that going to be annoying? No, I think I'd have something. I think I'd have something for that. So I'm clearly just retaining my pawn's options. I don't want to yet commit it. I want some more information, I guess. If bishop f5, maybe then d5, and if the knight makes use of a5, you'll note that knight d2 not only defends c4, but it threatens e4 with tempo. That was a mouthful right there. What about d5 now? I believe until this tension is resolved, I'm always going to be considering this as my candidate move, and very rarely, or not really, would I really be, I wouldn't consider d takes c. What else is, I can't move my bishop. Do I just push this pawn? My knight is unprotected. Actually, there's an issue on this. The queen is hitting this pawn. I'm just realizing that now. So what about this right now? Let's go with it. Let's go with that. And, well, how do I get my bishop developed? Let's see what this knight does first. If it plays here, I don't know. Any b3 move, I believe, is just met with knight e4. Maybe this. Maybe in response to knight a5, I play queen d3. And actually, another slight downside, maybe with queen being on b6, is that I don't have to worry about this pawn advance getting in. You'll note with the structural change d5, and with how these pawns are now staggered, white would like to get this pawn up here. Black would like to get this pawn up to b5. Identifying oftentimes your furthest advanced pawns and then trying to get a pawn up right beside it is maybe a good thing. And now that move is just one that I did not consider. I was thinking a5 and b4, but okay, it's jumping into that central square. This tactical idea of knight playing here, is that going to still be available? I believe it would be. This knight can always move out of the way of this bishop's view on this diagonal with check. So b3, knight e4, knight takes knight check, bishop takes rook. I'm down the exchange. What about queen d3? Queen d3, and then I think queen d3. I don't have much time. Let's try queen d3. Seems okay. It's important to note that I do have a convenient response to bishop f5. That just kind of backfires on black with e4. Okay, this is, I believe it's just backfiring. I really wasn't intending on playing something like e3 to kick the knight away. I could do that with pieces. Maybe the bishop, maybe the rook. If I move the bishop, okay, there's still maybe some concern over the b pawn. I want to be cautious about even winning this pawn. Like, after a series of exchanges, again, there's still the potential for what? There's still the potential for the knight to move and uncover an attack against d4. So, okay, how do I capture? Taking with the bishop allows bishop takes pawn. Therefore, I am down to this being the best move. And, okay, what's the next step? I believe I could get in b3, bishop b2. No, I still can't do that. That's incredible. This bishop is a pain. I can't move this pawn. Okay, do I really have to play rook b1 and then b3? This is incredible. b3 keeps failing tactically. Man. Alright, what about queen d3 and then b3? Queen d3 would allow my bishop to take this pawn. Let's try that. Actually, there's two reasons to want to move my queen. Maybe I want to move my f-pawn. Now I'm getting ready to at least get my bishop on b2. I believe that this is the best square for the bishop. Or maybe it was better to go do rook b1, bishop e3. Maybe I should have considered a bit more what the best square would be for my dark square bishop. I don't know that I could really be so certain about trying to negate this bishop's influence on the board in this corner to corner diagonal. So now this knight is out of play. Actually, I'm not afraid of that knight. The bishop has a clear view, but yeah, I'm gonna run forward with this. He is a #1 minor piece for black. The removal of this bishop means that this king is more vulnerable. I don't know if there's going to be a great attack, but okay, stay tuned. Let's see. Oh man, hang on here. I don't know if I want to allow f4. This is getting a little more scary than I really would like. f4. My queen is very, very tied down. I better do something, though. Let's do this. My queen is overloaded. She's overloaded, having to watch a knight and a pawn. Not a good position to be in. Okay. Oh, man. There you have it. I was overloaded in every way. My pawn has a good move. You see what it is? There it is. I just dropped my h-pawn. Boy, do I miss my h-pawn. You have no idea how much I miss my h-pawn. The bishop can give a check. Okay, where's the clock? Where is that clock? King h2. Maybe I can get this pawn one day. Okay. That's check, but counterattacking move. This knight's going to kill me if it gets here. Maybe. Bishop b2 followed by knight a4. I could pick up that pawn. Let's go. Knight here. I don't know if I'd be afraid. Knight a4 is the threat, and I get the pawn back on d. Oh, man. Hang on. Hang on. This is trouble. This is serious trouble. Okay, well. Let's take with my rook. I'm down the exchange and a pawn now. But I have a deadly bishop. This could be dangerous. It's actually not going to finish, is it? Look at the clock. Look at the clock situation. The queen might be close to trapped. Bishop here is trapping the queen. She's dead out of nowhere. Out of left field right there. Straight out of left field. She's dead. Bishop takes pawn was also a threat. I could have done that, but I'm going to go after the queen. Ooh, I didn't even consider that. Oh, no, I should have done this for several reasons. Bishop takes pawn, the queen hits everything. When that bishop was still there, this is working. I got this bishop. I get that bishop. I'm in check. I gotta take. You gotta take when you're in check like that. There's no time. Wow. Oh man. Good game, Alan Chess. I think that was the best game so far. We've played several. That was either the best or one of the best. Man, I wanted to just... Okay, let me go back. All I wanted to do was develop my queen bishop. Why did I struggle so much? What could I have done better? I think the first suggestion I have is really just for myself. Okay, this is interesting. D6, queen. I don't know how great H3 was. Maybe I should just immediately go for that and then meet the move knight A5 with knight D2. I don't know. I guess, again, I was still having flashbacks of a game I played recently, and I didn't really... I don't think I got a great position out of it. Maybe I still should have gone with it. But anyhow, queen B6 was... I was completely blind to the fact of the idea of knight D4. Very interesting. Okay, but I think I could work with this. What could I have done better here? What's the solution? Knight D4. Taking the knight, I just get kicked around. There's not really a great square to go to. My knight doesn't have a great square other than C3 for right now. So queen D3? Again, B3. I was fearful of just this knight E4 move with tactics. Huh. Yeah, queen D3. Okay, maybe queen D3 is fine. I don't know about the bishop move. Maybe just immediately playing here is best. Although playing here, if I'm playing E4, then you could be, I guess, relying a bit more on this knight's position. But actually, I'm never really in a spot, you'll know, to play E3 to kick the knight away, because there's always knight takes, bishop takes, and as was played in the game, you snip that H-pawn. So maybe this is still fine. The bishop move to maybe it's fine. Maybe D7. I'm not really. I can't be sure. Seems fine. Goes back. I come over. I think here there's got to be an improvement. There's got to be something here. How do I complete my development? Queen. How about queen E2 with bishop E3? Everything solved. Queen E2 to defend this pawn, and then bishop here, or rook to B1. I don't know. These are some other moves I guess I should have been considering. Now I do B3, and then you open the position up when I'm tactically vulnerable. It's a good point right there. To open the position up when you're in a position, well, when you are in the more aggressive position, when I'm still having to work myself out of tactics. It's almost similar to what you would do when, what is it, when you have a lead in development, it's said, okay, you should try and open up the position to better utilize the pieces you have out, create more possibilities for those pieces. Well, in situations such as this one, where I'm still having to weasel myself out of this annoying pin, you open up the position, the F file is opening up, my pieces are just overloaded. This F5 move is very interesting, and I may probably just best. It's a really good move. I don't think I'm in a spot to meet maybe F4 and pawn captures. Very annoying. Although maybe I shouldn't have been fearing F4 so much. After this F5 move, maybe I shouldn't have been fearing this because of my response G4 and then taking this pawn. I still see some issues with that somehow, though, with like counter sacrifices on these squares and the rook unleashing an attack on my bishop. It's getting very crazy, and again, I'm not in a position to really cope with the opening up of the position just yet. So I think if I had to do it over, my first suggestion is really for myself with queen E2. I think queen E2 with bishop E3 is going to be better. Queen here. Defend the pawn, and then not try and negate this bishop, but maybe just play to this square. Rook B1 and B4 might be an idea. Who knows? Okay. Very good game. I was busted. Absolutely busted. I was saying it once I made this move, I was saying it right here. Not a good position to be in. I wasn't quite sure how it was going to work out, and it worked out well for black, winning first a pawn, and then the exchange. This is a strong move. Very good pressure. Very, very good. How should you have finished it? Queen b4. I think the cleanest way is to just bring this knight back to f6, eye this square, and maybe try and get your queen on this diagonal to get your bishop to f5. Keep control over g4. Focus more on the king side. Queen seems like she's very active, but she's running out of squares very quickly after she plays to b4 and has knight b5 as the response. Actually, the other thing that I had that I wasn't even considering is bishop takes pawn right now. So after queen b4, I could be taking on g6. And if captures, it's going to lead to mate. So that's a serious threat. You'd have to deal with that right now. And maybe bishop here is needed. You might be having to do something like bishop there. But that could get even wild. Okay, this is just a blitz game, but this is going to get wild too if the bishop plays f. Bishop takes bishop. If pawn takes, then g4 is going to rip open the g file. And if rook takes, g4 is there with a fork, but you would fortunately have knight takes f4 hitting the queen. So maybe this is okay after all. Maybe bishop f5 would be needed at this point, but we're both way down on time at this point. Okay. Good game, Alan Chess.